Okay, so when I woke up today, I got up about 9 o'clock. It is December 24th, and it's 10:40 right now. This is what they did to my eye a short while after I woke up. These are really basic attacks that are being made on the clone in the form of fat injections. Instead of them putting them on my body now, they're putting them on my face. So December, this would have been the 17th. They put this bump in my mouth. I told you everything that they do supports a suggestion. On the 19th, they swelled my left eye and the lip, and it kind of persisted. It got worse and worse and worse. That really doesn't do it any justice. Okay, there's a lot behind this, so I'm going to try my best to explain it to you slowly. Gain stalking is a covert operation that's ran by the government. Literally, all of it stems back and roots to Area 51 type aliens. They're the puppet masters. But then they have all their subcategories, where they do their work from, identities that they do their work as. So those are agencies like the CIA and so on and so forth. They'll be within Big Pharma. They'll be within the educational system or the research institutions, financial and banking institutes, wherever influence is, that's where they are to affect the outcome. It's a form of alien hierarchy. There's been an attack on the free mind since I want to say 49, but I'm seeing 79. My dates were questionable just because remote neuromonitoring. For those of you that don't know what remote neuromonitoring is, that's how the government monitors and surveils your thoughts, your brain's processes. They decide which memories are available to you, and they completely rewrite people's lives at times once they possess them. Now, with this technology, they're able to pause and stop thoughts. They'll see thoughts as they're forming and completely cut it off. So, that's why I said the date was questionable. But I want to talk about that a little bit more. Who is designed for that? Technology is designed for. Now I got to go further back. Okay. There's multiple things tied into this ability to monitor the mind. And of course, you're probably wondering, like, well, how do you monitor the mind? There's chips. There are chips. We all have one at birth. They're being installed at birth to support eugenics. Eugenics is how created races feed off of Africans. Now, when I say feed off of Africans, I mean by decoding the African mind. By having access to the African mind, they're able to decode it. Stem cell, everything is in the form of binary code. That's all digital, and it's all linked to a computer. They've made it possible for themselves to copy and paste things to make their created races function and evolve. Naturally, races like white people, Chinese people, Mexicans, anything that's not African, it does not evolve. It actually recesses. So as you've seen, as the world we live in today, they're doing everything Africans do. That's a form of, eugenics on steroids, and the end times being near. That's the indicator of the end times being near. In another video, I discussed created races, being a mind without an astral body. That means a body without a soul. The soul is what makes up Africans. It is our identity of self having a personality. A lot of you have heard of entities like the Illuminati and stuff like that, stealing souls. It's much worse than that. Like, it goes far beyond them. These are white people that are being programmed. Like, it's Satan's favorite uniform. I'll talk about this in another video. It's a mind and a body that's easily used. Because it has no astral body, these Africans, It's a black man that made the white man. These Africans are skilled at astral projection, you know. So when it comes to assuming consciousness, you know, you see in a lot of in the mostly the music industry, you know, the reptiles, like they do this flicker of the eye. It's them assuming it's assuming responsibility of the body, assuming consciousness of the body. So they're being switched out. The alien that was in place before is not the alien that's in place now when that takes place. So when that blink of the eye takes place and it flickers, someone else, a different demon is present. And demons are government agents. For those of you who are wondering who are your demons, they're government agents. Okay, I don't want to get too far off the topic. I talk about all these things in my videos, like, and I really do. It's necessary to reintroduce them at times, but I don't want to repeat myself. Okay, so I've talked about free will, eugenics, and how it applies to created races, but what does that mean for Africans? For Africans, it's a form of demon possession. It's designed to separate us from self. It's also been noted as subconscious mind attacks. So back to remote neuromonitoring. When a subconscious mind attacks takes place, that means that your memory and your identity is being rewritten. That's demon possession. The demon has complete control over the mind and body, and they'll write and program you to be and act however they want you to be and act. And the subconscious mind is where that takes place. That's where all those things that make you up are played out. So because it's there was something else I wanted to say. Hold on. I can't recall they're blocking it, so I'm just going to continue on with how this technology works. So with this technology, like I said, that's what I was going to say. A part of demon possession is memory removal. A part of demon possession is memory removal. And like I said, a lot of the times on a surface level in the past, you know, that used to just mean, you know, that you couldn't recall some things, or, you know, you couldn't place time, dates, and events. But now, like I said, it's the end time and it's most extreme. So realizing, I talk about this in another video. So they're completely right in skill sets. That means that those that they're trying to possess, or that they've claiming, those that they possess, they'll take a low life and turn it into a family guy. Or they'll take a low life and turn her into, like, she'll go from being whatever she was, like maybe a gang member, to now being a nurse or a doctor. And this all happens like literally overnight. Because everyone else in their family, anyone that could attest to the truth, has already been attacked. This also means that common knowledge has gone out the window. So all those things that people used to know about the government, all those things that people used to know about not mixing bloodlines, you know, all those things have went out the window. People don't have any recall or recollection, and there's no dissemination of information either, because they're killing off the elders. So things like Jesus not being white was common knowledge for African families. However, you know, they separate. It's not a tier. They separate us demographically. So in one area, that will be the norm. You know, that be the way. And then in another area, you know, they're posing as your relatives, putting up pictures of white Jesus. So a lot of us grew up in households with an image of white Jesus. A lot. That happened in my household, and I'm Christ's mother. I am who I say I am. And my DNA proves it. And my design proves it. I have the ability to recall when memories are being removed. So this is technically all about my coming. You know, this is evil men and women who are in remote locations that are trying to maintain dominion over law and maintain dominion over the land. They're trying to maintain those things that rightfully belong to me. So part of my coming is doing out with eugenics. They're messing with my functions. But to do out with eugenics and to exterminate government agencies, that's how I restore my my offspring's kingdom. Covering the eyes of the people or closing the eyes of the people is much more disturbing than you think. Stuff like this is taking place for those that are already under suggestion. These are people that are operating under intentions, under suggestion. They're linked to artificial technology, but artificial technology was programmed, formed with human technology. So imagine trying to tell a robot that it's a robot and that it can't feel without gene expressions and eugenics. It thinks it's human because it has flesh. It's a horrible trick. It's a horrible trick. So part of artificial technology is being linked to parallel reality. Part of that is being linked to parallel reality where, you know, all these things are kind of drawn out, you know, test situations and scenarios are ran to get the desired outcome so they know exactly how to tweak the mind. These are genetic engineers. Area 51 type aliens are genetic engineers. I'm talking about they can pick, they've just down to the blink. If I blink in a way that they like, they're able to, you know, decode that and get the same reaction somewhere else. It's precise. Okay, but anyhow, enough of that. I was saying that this supports a suggestion. These are people that are operating under suggestion. When they show up in a place, or when I show up somewhere that they're at, they're looking for something that aligns with parallel reality, what they've saw. They're looking for something that aligns with what they saw. They're telling them that I have domestic situations. Like, I've never had a domestic situation. If anything, I've been the aggressor. When it comes to, you know, a man on female type thing. But they're telling them that I get beat on, and then they'll put a fat injection in my eye or swell my lips and, you know, the top of my eye to make it look like this is all being done without being touched. That's a problem. And these officers are covert professionals. They're in place to deny these sorts of things. It doesn't get real until they see something's being done in person. I'm trying to think. I was going to call the officer. I was going to call the cops and have them come out to witness this and kind of give you an example. But I've made a couple of examples of how they respond to me at Akron Police Department. They're under the suggestion. They tell them that I'm schizophrenic, meaning that the memory can be removed and that they don't have to worry about me looking at them or coming for them later. That's a lie. But that's the impression that the police department is under. So they treat me in a way that they have no business treating me. You know, the subconscious mind is a horrible thing to tamper with because there's nothing in place to check for truth. If I put an image in your mind that your child was a dog, you treat it as such. It's like being under hypnosis. You wouldn't know where it came from, but you'd act that out. So that's the type of suggestions that are being given to these officers. They have no way to be approaching me, to be responding to me this way, especially when I'm speaking in plain English, and I can actually tell and break, you know, I can make literally everything make sense. They have no business responding the way that they have been, but there's nothing to check for truth. And when they hear the truth, it doesn't resonate because there's a block up. I would have to say a whole lot more about that. I'm going to refrain. So, like I said, that stuff that you seen in the beginning of the video, the first ordeal took place on the 17th. That was the bump on my gum. The next thing took place on the 19th when they swole literally my whole face up. My lips were huge. My eye was swole. I went into the library that day that way, and none of them thought anything of it. They see me all the time. They switched them out, so they were under a different suggestion, and they thought something like that was normal. They even, like a couple stalkers that show up there normally even spoke, and they never speak. So I went to Firestone Mini Market across the street from the library yesterday, and that was my first time going there and since the 30th of October. That was my first time going there since the 30th of October. When I'm out of a place and I don't go to a place for a long time, you know, they put some things in place. They tell the agent that's now they get rid of the bodies. So they'll say, well, I've wronged her in this body. I no longer want it. I'm going to give it to somebody else and tell them that she never comes here. And that's exactly what they'll do. When I show up, they're able to tell that I remember who they are from how I look at them. And then they come back and they say, well, you've been giving me updates and saying that this happens and this happens. She didn't have a mark on her. And then they'll show up. I told you I'm being stalked with the identities of others. So, because they own the folks at Dollar General where I'm about to go, they'll show up on them to see if something now aligns. So what they did on that identity, it's always about mocking, you know, like it's always about, well, this deed has been done, so now I'm supposed to be able to do this. They tried to insult me before. There's another elder that works there. She has long white gray hair, and out of nowhere they started using the same shampoo as I used on her. And when I came in, I smelled it one day and I didn't react at all. You know, I just got my things and left. They were mad that I had no reaction. They were mad that I didn't compliment. So we were discussing my hairnet. You know, she was talking about for all the hair that she has that's not hers, for all the hair that she has, she needs a big net like that because I wear the real big one for my crochets. And I told her exactly where she can get it and how much it costs. So it looks around and it sees that me and the other female have more dry encounters. So this is the body it wants to use now. Like these things, these are a small group of people that have placed ownership. It's a population of people that have placed ownership on everyone. So it'll use that person. When I went in yesterday, her skin was clearer and they had grown her hair out a foot so that it now drapes over the shoulder. In a month and a half, they grew her hair out a foot. And I've been going there, you know, all year. Like I stop in and get RC or a ribbit. So as soon as they thought that I wasn't going to be coming there anymore, and you know all these other things, they told them that I was possessed, and now they had me in a relationship where someone was beating on me. And then I showed up, and they realized it was a lie. But furthermore, this is after they've attacked my hair. I have a video on here. It's probably 2.5, 3 weeks old now. I haven't had a chance to upload it because I have to compose it. It's due for upload on the 30th. That's a interesting video. This is done like right after they, like I said, they'll attack my hair, take some of my cells, and just grow it out. You know, RNA. Your RNA is what determines how much of your full DNA shows. These people are blocking my RNA. These aliens are blocking my RNA and lying about my identity. As I've said in other videos before, my identity will completely change. And so will my, you know, hair and stuff. But I have a video that I'm uploading on the 30th also that you have to watch. It's panhandling. It's called Panhandling in Jackson Township. That's in Canton, Ohio. Make sure you watch that video. So yeah, dealing with officers are stupid. Like 6 agencies have had the complaint 6 weeks. They've had the complaint 6 weeks. The mayor's in the loop. His legal team has the complaint. And the chief of police has the complaint. Okay, one last thing I want you to consider for the types of attacks that I'm going through. I only showed you a couple, and I've put a lot of them, like the things that have manifested on my body. I told you my DNA is the antidote. So that means that I'm able to heal myself, and that it wouldn't even manifest at all if my full expression was showing. But my met DNA, my energy, my melanin is what they want. So those are the things that they're extracting and reallocating to get something like a bump to show up, to get something like a swollen red mark to show up. So, but these are not issues. These are not matters that you would go to the hospital for. That's a covert profession. They are being communicated with. They would tell them exactly what to give me to help or assist the manifestation of something else. Medicine is like, that's Satan. Medicine is Satan. So it's a drug that assists the manifestation of something else. You know, a lot of people will tell you, you know, as soon as they start taking one form of medicine, you know, it creates another problem. It doesn't help the existing problem much, but it creates another soon or shortly thereafter. And for those that are big into the Bible, you know, they said during the end times, pharmaca would be the way. Pharmaceuticals. Everybody's on medicine. I ain't ran across nobody that wasn't taking medicine. And these things look at me in amazement, like, because they can't believe I'm healthy. It's not when they look at me, they don't expect to see me taking medicine, but they can't believe I'm healthy with all the attacks that are being made on me remotely, knowing that I'm being poisoned every night. Knowing that sleep deprivation is something that persists like long beyond any other time that they would ever put someone through it. So closing the eyes of the people is far worse. You can't get through to them. As soon as I mentioned the government, these people shut down. The bodies are being housed by aliens. I don't know if you recall, but CERN opened up a demon portal in 2000 and I know I'm going to get this date wrong, but they opened up a demon portal a few years ago. They opened up a demon portal, and they're jamming my thoughts again. So yeah, anyhow, like I'm completely isolated. I don't have any encounters, and all my days are spent alone. As I fight. And in fact, the truth is I've already won. It's just, you know, I was going to kill someone. I was going to kill someone, and I was going to go turn myself in, and I was going to, you know, that way I have to get a lawyer. And because those that I've called, they won't touch this. I should have recorded that. But it'd be so random and spontaneous, like during a day of rage, you know, like just absolutely being fed up, calling and being like, hey, do you take cases that this? That's what I wanted to say. I didn't mention the nervous system. The subconscious mind attack. When you're attacking the subconscious mind of an African, that's being done to obtain those things that we hold unconsciously, those things that make the body function. And you can't do that without us throwing a fit. So they possess them and they don't say nothing. You know, they'll complain about a couple of aches and pains here and there, but that's all you're going to hear them say. You don't hear them talk about the decline, the rapid decline that they're noticing in their appearance and their wellness, the changes in their senses. You don't hear them talk about any of that. The demon spirit stays silent. It goes to its hospital visits and it takes its medicine to solidify its presence. I mentioned, you know, those things that they wanted to maintain dominion over as being the land and law. I left out physics. They were blocking physics from my mind at the time. Physics is a big one. That's how they pull off all their paranormal activity. That's also how they created the lie about Jesus walking on water. Physics is the ability to make something hard soft and something soft hard. So something like a liquid water, you know, they could part and separate, or they could make it solid enough to walk on. Physics are also how they built the pyramids.